Today's video is sponsored by Warface Breakout. In today's video, we are putting our power washer to the test. Could it destroy an entire house?
We got our power washer out. We've done some fun things with our power washer in the past.
Namely, we've destroyed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's what power washers are best at. I mean, they're good for cleaning too, but that's just destroying built-up grime. Today, we wanted to test out if, theoretically, you could use a power washer to take down a whole construction, like say, perhaps a house. We're not going to try and take down a house because I'm quite confident that even if it theoretically could work, it would take, what, months, probably?
Years?
A long time, depending on the size of the house.
It also depends on how many power washers you have.
True.
Here's the basic idea. We have our power washer and we have several different types of materials used in building construction. We want to know what would survive against pressurized water.
So that's what we've got out on display here.
You've got quite, like, this is kind of the whole construction of a house.
This piece of wood is cut out of a 2x4. We'll see if it can do anything against 2x4 wood. We've got insulation foam. We've got just a thin piece of plywood. This is fairly thin stuff. This is only about 1/4 of an inch. Obviously, some plywood in houses is going to be a lot more robust than that, but if it can get through this 1/4 inch, then we can upgrade to something thicker.
We've got window glass.
A couple panes of glass. We've got a larger one and a smaller one. This right here is MDF, or particle board. It's basically sawdust and glue smashed together into a fairly dense board.
Fun fact, I broke my foot dropping one of these on it once, so good times. Don't drop MDF shelving units on your feet.
Here we've got drywall, and we have untreated drywall, and then we've got drywall that has been primed and painted. And then right here we've got a sheet of steel, and I'm quite confident you can't cut through a sheet of steel with this power washer, but water jets are much higher power than a pressure washer, and they add a stone abrasive most of the time.
Yep.
So, however, sheet steel like this is not used a whole lot in constructing houses, so we'll test it. I don't think it'll get through, but we'll see what it does to it, if anything.
Let's start from the ground up.
Go with a 2x4, see what we can handle?
Sure, let's just see, what it'll do to this 2x4.
So while we're starting to get things put together, go ahead and hit the link in the description to check out the sponsor for today's video, a brand new Xbox One and PS4 game called Warface Breakout.
Breakout is a brand new competitive online first-person shooter game for the Xbox One and PS4 with fun grounded gameplay that's heavily inspired by classic Counter-Strike. I used to play that.
The objective of the game is for one team to plant and detonate a bomb while the other team tries to stop them. As you progress toward your objective, you can earn credits which will let you unlock new equipment and weapons from the store as you play.
There are over 30 realistic weapons for you to choose from. Each will have its own unique advantages. You can use everything from knives to sniper rifles.
The game costs $19.99 for the standard edition, and Breakout uses a cosmetic-only monetization system, so you have to be the best to get ahead.
Breakout is currently in Season 1, and with each season, you will be able to get new challenges, exclusive weapon skins, avatars, and more.
Season 1 also introduces ranked matches.
A great feature of Breakout seasons is that they don't use the battle pass mechanic. Every player will get free seasonal updates, and the progression system is the same for everyone.
Guys, the game is a lot of fun, so head down to the description, click the link to start playing today. All right, let's see. Start from this distance, about 5 feet away. And close in. What? It works!
It's got some chewed out of it.
All right, let me just go for like a solid couple minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and say that you wouldn't want to pressure wash the wood part of your house.
At least not with the fine stream version of it, maybe with the flat version.
I would say maybe 30, 45 seconds right here, and that got really deep. And I just had it focused on one spot, and that's pretty decent. And then on this one, I was focusing on moving the jet up and down. So what do you say? Which one wins, pressure washer or wood?
Well, with this much time, I think for the most part, the wood still has its structural integrity. But I think we should move on to some other materials.
I like it.
All right, MDF, a little bit susceptible to water. Is high pressure water different? All right, there's already a little bit of a stripe
going
Nice.
across it.
So the first time I did it, I wasn't doing the stripes. I focused on one spot and then moved closer, and that's how I got that big divot.
I'll try that too.
Okay. What? Huh. Okay, I'll be honest, I thought this was gonna hold up better.
So now that it's kind of cup shape, of course, as I spray it, it doesn't just splatter sideways, it shoots back at me. So I'm just gonna
My
get
jeans
soaked
are
here.
pretty, yeah, soaked to this
Here
point.
goes. I'm through. Whew, all right.
Oh
I wasn't really
my.
planning on getting this soaked today, but
That was a hole.
Wow.
Cut right through the MDF. It's not a large hole, but water was spraying through and it stopped bouncing back at me. And you can see kind of that interesting spray pattern hole.
I'm gonna try and cut sideways from there.
I'm gonna say it's not a fast or efficient way to cut through MDF, and it's swelling up so much from absorbing all the water, but it is cutting through as it goes. So MDF versus power washer, I'm 100% gonna say the power washer wins.
You think I should try just the plywood?
Plywood.
Plywood. And do a stripe across again.
Which would you say is winning right now?
The power washer is making some
Progress through it, but it's really slow. Like it's taking a long time, and I can't tell if it continues to actually make progress or if it gets to a point where it's like, that's as much as I'm going. I can't cut through any more than that. I am gonna try putting on the spinning head to see if that does
Ooh.
anything.
I'm moving because that one makes a mess.
really gets through the lighter color parts of the wood.
Yeah.
Way more than the darker. A little, barely.
It definitely has slowed down how fast we're getting through. So maybe eventually you could get all the way through this board. I'm not sure that you could. I mean, if you sat there for a week, I'm sure you'd get through. So how long would it actually take to get through the whole board? I don't know. I do think the board is holding up pretty well. The outer layer of it, the softer parts are getting worn away, but for the most part, the harder parts are sticking where they started.
Plywood or the pressure washer?
I feel like it's got to go to the plywood. I wasn't
Okay.
able to cut all the way through. I'm not cutting through like I did with the MDF, like I'm not making lines. With 20, 30 minutes, I could slice right across that whole board.
Sure.
20, 30 minutes of this, I'm not sure I'd be measurably weakening it even, so.
Our plywood and our 2x4 both won, but our MDF did not. Let's see what's next.
Here goes.
Ha! I'm gonna say glass definitively wins here.
It remains entirely unbroken.
All right, so far the wood and the glass have both survived.
Just too hard, not making a difference through the water.
On to the next one.
Next up, we've got drywall. This is the unpainted drywall. Drywall is made of gypsum and paper. It's basically chalk with paper on both sides of it. Surprisingly good for walls. At least we use it a lot here in the United States. Other places have different building methods. But chalk and paper doesn't seem like it would hold up too well to water.
I don't know.
You know, you've got the, do you want to start with the circle one or the
Yeah.
straight one? All right.
This one's a little gentler, so let's just see.
Is it? Chewing away the paper to more paper underneath. There's the drywall, the gypsum. Oh, Now you're really chewing into the chalk stuff. That's fun and messy.
Tap out. Yeah, that didn't take any effort at all.
All right, I'm gonna start with a spot over here and see how long it takes to cut through just not moving it.
Sure.
And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 seconds. Punched a hole right through it.
Nice.
Let's see how long it takes with the flat nozzle. Now this is a little bit shorter because our paper is already wet, and I think that's speeding it up just a smidgen, but only by like 1 second.
New spot.
1, 2, 3, there we go.
3 seconds.
3 seconds, punched all the way through. Regular, untreated, unpainted drywall just gets eaten up. But as I said, we do have a piece of drywall that has been primed and painted, and we want to see if that gives any more resistance to it.
Huh. I would say definitely the paint is helping. Ha!
It's starting to peel.
So I have obviously made a hole in it, but it took a long time to wear through that paint, and then it's slowly getting through the board as well.
Let's go back to the fine tip nozzle.
Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Okay.
That time it took 14 seconds.
Yeah.
And so I think there's multiple things happening here, and one of which is the primer that I used. It's called a PVA primer, and I think like it's actually designed to help like seal off against moisture so that all of the paint doesn't just get sucked into the board. And I think that the PVA is getting through the paper and it's actually bonding to the gypsum and making it slightly more water resistant.
Oh,
and so
that makes sense.
it got through the paper and then was stopped by the board underneath for like 5 seconds, which was kind of odd. And then as soon as it got through the surface, it just tore right through all of it in about 1 second.
All right, we've got one layer of protection left to try for your house.
I gotta be honest, with this one, my question is really, can I move it fast enough that I don't cut through it? I think if I just go at a normal speed, I'm just gonna slice pieces off.
See?
All right, from that far away,
We do have a slight mark. It's like dented a little bit,
but it's not cut through. Going a little closer now.
Ha!
That is noticeably damaged, not just
Yeah.
slight indentation, but damaged.
Okay.
About 3 feet away now.
Oh.
Cutting into it significantly at this point, going for about 2 feet. Again, I think we were about a third of the way before, now we're about half of the way through that 1-inch board.
Yep.
Going for about the 1 foot. That sprayed right back at me.
Wow.
Like a lot.
we're going for about 3 inches away. About the same as the 1 foot, honestly,
All right.
but I might have sped up a little. Now I'm just gonna go to cut through on purpose.
Okay.
Let's see how much of that cut on the back side.
You're going a lot faster at the top.
I did,
so-
yeah. I slowed down to try and make it go all the way through. It does break up. So like at the surface, oh, there we go. You can see it
Nice.
starts like with a nice clean cut,
And then it gets a lot more ragged as it has to travel through the foam. And it'd probably be a lot smoother if it were like CNC controlled. My hand is gonna be changing angle and moving all the time just a little bit. And I think that makes it be not quite as smooth. But that does cut through
Very
pretty
nicely. Should you use a power washer to clean your home?
Oh, probably not. Probably a very bad plan. Steel sheet. After the wood held up so well, I don't think that this is gonna do anything, but give it a shot.
Well, that's just entertaining.
So 100% undamaged. I have no idea where I was spraying on it because it looks exactly the same as the rest of the steel.
No one's
surprise.
shocked. Thanks again to our sponsor for today's video, Warface Breakout. Breakout is a brand new game for the PS4 and Xbox One and is a ton of fun. Head down to the description, click the link, and check out the game today.
Guys, that's it for today, but we've always got more cool stuff to see. Go ahead and click that button right there to subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on a cool video, and we'll see you in the next one. Talk to you then.